I think we're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Boropod. Me and Pat are back. Hello, mate.
Hello, how are you doing? Feeling better?
I am feeling better. Yeah, I've still got a little bit of a sort of tickling cough, but copious amounts of chewing gum's helping that. I'll just start one in now.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Nick's here. Hello, mate.
Hello. I'm the only one from last week here this week.
You are. Everyone else is having a right, man. You're on it.
They were just worn out by your quiz and need a week off.
Unreal quiz. So much
Excellent.
effort went into that.
Levels.
And I cannot guarantee that any of the stats were actually correct, but it was fun.
the levels
What's written
of
on the
effort-
card that counts.
Yeah, the levels of effort above what I do were magnitudes greater. It's impressive. You're not getting that today. You're not getting anything like that level of effort today. We're going back to the fucking island. Tried and tested one. I'm not convinced that at least one of these people haven't been done before, but I haven't tracked it. So
I was going to say, our memories aren't going to be that good, and chances are I got it wrong anyway.
I can guarantee you will have seen every single one of them that's played for us.
Okay.
So you got no excuses, you bitch. Should we start with that game? What happened on Saturday? Oh, hang on. I'm going to move that banner. That's too low. There we go. Details, like Nick said, details. Boro 1, Wycombe Wanderers 0. Mike Dodds FC did not play well. So Marshall in goal, Wilding, Good, Pidge, and Freestone along the back. Houghton and Phillips in the middle of the park. Roberts, Kemp, and Campbell as the attacking trio with Reed up top. They actually out sort of played us as well, outstatted us, let's call it, in terms of shots and possession and pass success rate, dribbles. Even we won the aerial battle, put in more tackles, won the ball cleanly more often, and had more corners. As we always say, stats only tell part of the story. They don't come very close to telling the full story. I thought we opened up quite slowly. Again. This is what 4 games in a row now that we've started slowly. The first 20 minutes, they were certainly on the front foot, although they created very little in the way of realistic chances, or good chances at least. After that 20-minute sort of period, we dug in, we defended well, and then we got more on the front foot, and by the end of the half we had the goal, and you could only see one team scoring from there on.
It took a switch in, well, it looked like a switch in mentality, and they suddenly started pressing around the halfway line and then beyond into the Wycombe half. And once they did that, Wycombe couldn't build up the way they were building before, predominantly down the right-hand side. And then we started creating chances off that kind of high turnover of possession, particularly through Phillips, I thought. And suddenly they went from looking like no pressure at all, no threat at all, to plenty of threat.
There was a couple of early signs, wasn't there, when their keeper got the ball and Reedy would chase him down and he'd get like a yard off, and you kind of thought that would be a bit of a catalyst for us to think, hang on a minute, we need Reed to get out. But I think it did take us that 10-15 minutes to realise they were there for the taking with a high press.
I think there was a moment in the first half as well where we actually blocked a ball that was trying to be sort of cleared, but it sort of span off and came to nothing.
That was the first half chance we created, probably.
Yeah. We'll move on to this to start out, because I mentioned it on Twitter very early on. Wycombe's game plan, which was to have Harvey and Allen doubling up on Luther, and that was their entire game plan. Every ball that came forward was down their left flank, and I thought Luther did an incredible job against the both of them. he was beaten once or twice, and was dug out either by Houghton sort of coming across and covering, or by Good, usually by Good to be fair, or he got back and recovered well to make a block. But that was their entire game plan for what felt like 65, 70 minutes. And it just didn't work. And it's particularly interesting. I mean, Pat raised the concern pre-game about Freestone up against Quintana, and that was I was sure that's where it was going to come. All of their positive football would be down their right flank. Maybe it was a dodgy deception, but it was more like a dodgy decision because it didn't fucking work, and it was never going to work.
I mean, it was interesting, really, because Quintana, I think he's just come back from injury, so he's clearly slightly off the pace anyway. But you'd expect against Lewis Freestone at left back, like he'd have some joy, but there were a couple of chances where actually Freestone gave him a lot of space on the ball, and he just didn't really do anything with it. In a 1v1 scenario like that, I think Freestone wins it every single time, and I don't think they expected. I don't think they expected Freestone to start anyway. I think they probably expected it to be Butler, who often would go and press quite high into those areas, and so would have allowed the space for the spin off in behind. And I think that probably surprised them that we essentially had a completely different defensive action at left back. But even on the other side, I think Luther started really poorly, but they didn't really have anything in that final third, even if they did break away with that extra bit of quality to actually punish us. And it goes to show, because they've got rid of Udo today.
Yeah,
they've signed Woodrow, so they clearly knew that they were lacking something up front in those areas, and I think that was probably their biggest issue on Saturday against us, which ended up making it comfortable for us in the end, because there was just no threat on our goal.
Dreadful, weren't they? I think they were as bad against us on Saturday as we were against them both times last season. Like, we really struggled against them last season. We were fucking abysmal twice against them last season, and I think as bad as we were then, they were that bad this time out. Absolutely dire. I was amazed. I was looking at their end with 10 minutes to go, and I was like, honestly, I don't know how more haven't left.
Less Wycombe or Wycombe if they're playing like that.
Yeah, 10 shots and none on target, not a save forced out of Marshall.
He still hasn't had to make a save at home all season, has he?
Oh, no, he hasn't.
There was a few last-ditch blocks in this one, but it was blocked basically at the point of the shot, so it wasn't like they were fizzing in on target. There's nothing registered as a shot on target.
But they were really they were desperate shots or like kind of pot shots. They weren't creating a move and then having a chance on goal that forces a good block or forces a save. They were very much around the box. We're 1-0 down. Let's have a few shots.
Yeah, it surprised me how they handled that attack down the right-hand side. I would have thought you drop Luther in on Allen and you get either Roberts dropping in on Harvey or one of the defensive midfielder type guys pushing out. Instead of that, they pushed Luther up and pulled Good out right onto the wing on Allen, which you wouldn't think you'd want your tall, not particularly like agile centre back to be having to do. But Allen wasn't exactly rapid either, so it worked out fine. And because, as you say, Udo had not a lot of threat about him and was just mopped up by Pidge, that allowed Good the freedom to move out and do that role relatively trouble-free without anyone going in and filling in that gap that was creating in the back line. So the right way to handle what Wycombe threw at them, despite the fact it's initially surprised me how they were dealing with that.
I mean, they're clearly in a very difficult position as a club at the moment. Dodds clearly is not a very good manager, at least at this level anyway. I mean, a few of their fans were saying online that they felt that they were kind of performing miracles under Bloomfield previously, and actually
they were certainly performing above their realistically like their level, weren't they? It was very much a sort of the whole is greater than the sum of its parts kind of situation.
And so I think they probably would have wanted Dodds gone at the end of last season when they had that run of absolute awful results.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Um,
I saw on Twitter several times that they've been in ever since he came in. They've been in not just poor form, relegation form.
Yeah. So
it's no surprise.
Yeah, it showed on Saturday that whatever he's trying to do with them either doesn't suit the players they've got or just doesn't suit this level of football.
Yeah.
Onyedinma looked pretty dangerous when he came on, but he was looking dangerous as an individual doing individual things. It wasn't really linked up with the rest of his teammates, so it didn't lead to much. And they had that really good penalty shout, which of the 3 penalty shouts on the day that I think could have been given, that one was the most obvious, just a big push in the back.
Yeah, it was
right into the Wycombe fans as well. So
yeah,
they bellowed for it. But the ref consistently tried to let stuff go. And I can see why you'd want to do that. You want to let the game flow if you're not sure about fouls. But there was some really blatant stuff. And I mean, by trying to let it go like that, you allow the defenses just to shut things down. You see, the game stops flowing because you've
absolutely.
got too
the
much
shoulder into Luther's temple was fucking egregious. And honestly, I hope he watched that Sunday morning, where he watched his performance back, saw that, and decided to write a letter of apology to Luther, because that is fucking appalling.
I think even if you ignore the fact that it was an obvious foul, the ref took a decent 30 seconds to decide to actually stop play when Luther's just collapsed on the floor, clearly completely out of it in terms of knowing what was going on. And the ref was almost standing there like, oh, what am I meant to do about this? So you've clearly seen
it was clearly heavy contact to the face.
Yeah.
There was no doubt.
Everybody else on the ground saw it. Everybody.
And on the flip side, you had the moment, I think it was in the latter 15 minutes, where Freestone's gone down because he's hurt his back, and the referee's about 20 yards away from him, calls the physio on. Physio doesn't even come onto the pitch, and he sends Freestone off for a head injury. And it's like, you've not even gone and spoken to him to find out what's wrong with him. You've just assumed he's on the floor. So it has to be a head injury. And it's just basic stuff that they should be able to deal with comfortably.
The last time we had Simon Mather was the 3-1 defeat at home against Blackpool last April, and we were really bad that day. Blackpool absolutely battered us, but Mather that day as well was fucking abysmal. Again,
there's a couple down the west side. One where Kemp escaped and got taken out by Leahy, or not taken out by Leahy and decided to dive. One way or the other, someone should have got booked for that, and he just waved play on. It's like, well, either he's been tripped and fouled because he was running into space with the ball, or he's dived. But it can't be neither. What are you doing?
There's that one with Phoenix as well, where he's escaping down the left, and it's that guy that's balled in. I can't remember what his name is now. They're captain right back.
Grimmer.
Yeah.
Grimmer.
Yes.
Honestly, I was poised to shout that his hairline was almost as bad as his football for about 80 minutes. But I held it in. I didn't. I avoided the personal attacks. Although I hope you're watching now, you prick. But he was pulling on him, just holding him back. Like it was egregious, the level of shirt pulling that was going on. The ref
and the linesman this side must have seen that and decided not to flag for it because he just did nothing all day.
The refs obviously gone, well, play on. He's still running. He's still progressing. He's still got the ball. And then, literally, not 2 seconds after he's let him go, admittedly, he falls over incredibly softly in the area and sort of half-heartedly asks for a penalty. It wasn't a foul, but he should have had a fucking free kick back at the point where Grimmer's let go. It's unbelievable.
Where you've stopped him escaping for 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Like, how do these arseholes get given whistles?
But that's the standard. That's the standard at the moment. Like he's probably in the top half of EFL referees to be in League One right now. What the hell does that say to what you've got below him?
I mean,
It does. It says a lot when an entire stand full of people stop clapping their team as they come off 1-0 up to boo the referee.
to boo. Yeah, that's what that is. I mean, it happened a lot under Evans. To be fair, that the whole West Terrace or West Stand, sorry, would stop applauding the team, even if the whole bunch were in front of them, to specifically boo the referee. Like, it happened a lot.
We tried
I
chanting
haven't
in the
seen
East
it so much.
We started chanting about getting sacked in the morning from the East Terrace. Ordinarily, you think we would have been doing it at Dodds. Nope, it was at Simon Mather.
It was at Simon Mather. Honestly, I really hope the assessors were there on Saturday, because he should not be allowed to referee this coming week. That's how poor it was. He needs to be told, no, go and sit down and have a good hard look at yourself in the mirror, because you are making us look bad.
I think the problem
was so
is
bad. Mild-mannered Revs got booked because he got all angry.
Yeah, he flipped, absolutely flipped for that booking.
And rightly so. It was fucking bullshit.
Yeah, it was awful.
Especially compared to the non-event that was, the Luther decapitation.
Yeah. But I think it says a lot, and I think we've seen it a fair few times now, is that the way that they seem to judge whether a referee, like the metrics they use to judge whether you've had a good game or not, just seem to be nothing to do with, you're getting decisions right, and it's like, are you standing on the right side of the wall? Are you marking when players have left the tunnel at certain times? It's like, why are you bothered about that stuff? Have you made the right decision or not? If you've made more wrong decisions than right, then you've done a bad job. It doesn't matter what side of the wall you were standing.
Yeah,
it's things like that. It's like, no wonder that the quality of the decisions are so poor when they're being marked on such wasteless detail.
Right, we've spoken about Simon Mather for longer than we have the actual game, so let's move on to something else.
Some positive stuff. Well, we got a good comment in the chat.
That's not what I was going to move us on to. I was going to move us on to the.
There's no positivity here.
I was going to move us on to the interaction between Kemp and Revs at full time, before then wrapping up with a positive.
Oh.
I don't even know what you're talking about, I'll be honest.
So just at full time, Kemp stands up, walks onto the pitch from the bench, and before Revs even goes anywhere near Dodds, he goes and puts his arm around Kemp and has a chat, because obviously Kemp was really disappointed to come off. You could see it with the way his shoulders dropped and he sort of trudged off. He weren't best pleased, bless him. I can understand it, because he's been our best player for 18 months. Well, certainly, he was our best player last season. He started in fine form this season. It's not setting the world alight by any measure, but James McLean would be having a hard time to dealing with him, wouldn't he? So I think it's understandable that he was upset at coming off at the time that he came off, and particularly because I think it took everyone in the ground by surprise. I can't think of a single person that would have gone, I'd have taken Kemp off in that moment. And perhaps Revs are just looking like, we ain't going to lose this game, so thinking more about giving him a rest for the future.
Yeah, and it pushed Dan Phillips forward to lead the press, which maybe is what we needed at that point, because he did that exceptionally all game and was looking back to his sharpest best. But there was definitely an exchange where Revs felt the need to assert his authority, shall we say, and it ended well, but it looked pretty spicy to start with.
There was a bit of Kemp sort of giving him the cold shoulder.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone can agree it wasn't Kemp's best game easily. I think part of that wasn't helped by having a midfield two, which was Houghton and Phillips, because White is, to give White his credit this year, is very much the one that gets on the ball and feeds Kemp quite a lot in terms of getting the ball into his feet. So I think that probably didn't help Kemp in this game, and therefore we didn't see the best of him. I half expected Roberts to be the one that came off in that scenario. Partly because
Roberts had a bad game. He was just off it.
It felt like the simple switch to do that kind of change, and so I think that's where a lot of the surprise equally comes, is that I think a lot of people would have said there was someone else you probably should have taken off before you took Kemp off.
I mean, there are probably 2 or 3 players that I would have preferred to have gone at that stage. But I mean, I think Pat's right in saying what helped us see out that game is pushing someone like Dan Phillips forward. I mean, he's played there a couple of times, and he's always a revelation because he just hunts, doesn't he? He goes into full on hunt mode, and he locks defenders down, and he made it really difficult for them to play out from the back. I mean, let's be fair, they made it difficult for them to play out from the back, but
don't make life more difficult for yourself than it needs to be, lads.
It's not helped when you've got Dan Phillips
charging at you,
is it? So
and when we saw that last season, it was Kemp being pushed out to right wing, wasn't it, to allow Phillips to play in that 10 position, and we all complained about that. So I can see the reasons why he did it. I can see the reasons why you might choose another option. Ultimately, we ended up dropping Phillips back again anyway. Once we brought Hadmay on and a couple of other players, but look, there's going to be times last year we didn't even bring Kemp on against Cambridge. I don't remember if he was in the squad. He was definitely didn't play a single minute in that game because it just didn't lend to having Kemp in that fixture. And so there are going to be games and there's going to be situations where Revs will probably make changes that we all kind of look at and go, don't know if I'd do that, but it would have had a purpose. It will always have a purpose. And
ultimately it worked, didn't it?
Yeah, and evidently that was it. And I'm sure 20 minutes later, when they were back in the changing room, they were having a laugh and celebrating a win. So I'm sure it was water under the bridge.
It'll be water under the bridge by Sunday.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
It's passion. We'd worry more if we didn't care.
I lied a little bit about bringing up something positive next. It's not been great, has it? The numbers so far this season haven't been amazing, which is a shame. I'm a little bit surprised by it. What do you make of? I mean, it was 3,700 and change, 72, I think, something like that. This weekend, which was 300 more, and I'll be honest, that could have all been Wycombe fans.
I was going to say, how much is home fans?
Is it a hangover from the I'm trying to say things that don't alienate Boro fans, but the moronic revs out sort of shout towards the end.
Don't want to alienate him, but those
is it a hangover from that nonsense? Where people like, I just don't want to watch it anymore because it's shit. Because I can appreciate to a point why people get frustrated with us last season, because there were long periods of time when the football was a bit flat,
drab. Yeah.
This season's miles better. Not just in results.
It just takes a while to generate that confidence in it back again. If you've got out of the habit of coming along,
And if you're comparing it to, you compare it. If you're going to compare it to the 2 seasons of promotion plus Villa plus being back in League One, I think they were artificially inflated by just having so many positive moments in a short space of time, meaning that people just lived off of the high. And I think as soon as that high ended, naturally people dropped off, and they're the ones that aren't there now. That I'm sure get halfway through the season, we're still hopefully, touch wood, up near the playoff spots. You'll suddenly start to see them come up again, those attendance figures, and that's what I see it to be. Is it's probably people hanging on, waiting to see how long it lasts before they go, oh, it's actually quite real. It's not just a upwards blip. It's a sustained positive way of playing, and then they start to come back and they come to every game and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, so far the attendance is 3,470, but that's 658 away. So against Rotherham, we only had 2,000, however much, 2,800 odd. Against Northampton, 3,300, so a drop of 120. But there was an increase of Northampton fans, so 725 away fans. So that's that's poor. That's 2,500 we're getting at home, 2,600, and then 3,779. So our highest attendance. We didn't get stats on on the away number for this one, but they're not good. Certainly not good enough. What do you think the club? What do you think the club can realistically do about this? Because it's a battle we've been fighting for how many years now? For as long as we've been in the Football League, you know, as long as we've been in the Football League, people look at us and go, "Little Stevenage have no fans," and I mean, I would be amazed if we aren't rock bottom of the average home attendance table so far in League One this season.
What we've seen across the town is a real big uptick in people wearing Stevenage gear.
Yeah,
certainly seen that a lot more commonly as I'm going, around supermarkets, cycling to work.
Absolutely.
So that bodes well. It's more on people's minds, and I think, if you stay at the top of the league, you're going to get an uptick, and the longer term uptick just takes generational patience, right? As people start having Stevenage as their club and maybe a separate Prem club that they keep an eye on, rather than I'm a Spurs fan who occasionally goes to watch Stevenage or whatever.
Mm-hmm. I think the difficulty here as well when we talk about what can the club do is we're not on a massive budget. We probably do have to make a lot of these decisions based on what we think is going to generate the most revenue, rather than what's going to bring in the biggest numbers. And that in itself is difficult. I mean, we've seen some of the ticket prices for away games at Mansfield and Orient that have been released, and to be honest, we're not much better. We're 25 quid for an away ticket, which when you think Prem's capped at 30,
I think 25 quid is much better than 30 quid.
It's much better, but
I know it's only £5 in real world terms. That's not a lot, is it? It's not even a pint. But I think I would be way more up for paying £25 to go to any away game. Like £30 instantly, I'm not going.
But I think if you're gonna look in comparison to, like, I don't know what a West Hat ticket is, but I'm assuming it's around that 24, 25 for a ticket in the West Stand this season. But if you're one or two parents with a kid, suddenly you're talking 50 to 60 quid, and it is a lot of money these days, plus the food, plus everything else. So that's a challenge in itself.
There are very few parents that are coming to football without a bag of sweets, mate. A bag of sweets, a bag of crisps, the odd sandwich here and there.
So I think that's where, as a club, I'm sure we'd love to do more, which reduces the price, gets more people through the gates, but you won't see it translated into budgets on playing staff or improvements around the ground, and that's the balance, and that's the difficulty.
But I mean, it's one of those things that, like, we're getting away with it in League One. If we are ever to go to the Championship at that level, that's going to be one of the significant things that hinders us, is the fact that we don't have good crowds, because they're not going to raid. They're not. I just can't see them jumping by much with the level of apathy that I sort of feel at the moment. Like, it's not going to jump by 3,000 or 4,000 at home every week, is it?
No, but I think you'd be surprised by how much. I mean, I think, especially if we hit Championship, you're giving some of the West to away fans, for example. So we would get a lot more through in terms of away attendances in the Championship. And I think you would see more people coming to Championship Stevenage games than Luton League One games, for example, if they don't go up. You will see that slow turn just through quality of what the opposition's going to be.
But they're not many.
Again,
there's not going to be many.
It's not going to be
still in league in the Championship. But really, like, once who are you going to get? Realistically, who are you really going to get excited about in the?
I'd be excited about. I personally would be excited about every single Championship game.
Like Middlesbrough, we never fucking played them. Southampton is an interesting one. Like,
I think there's a lot more than you realise when you look through. I mean, Blackburn,
that many that are exciting.
Bristol City, Ipswich.
Ipswich is not an exciting game of football.
Yeah, but you get playing Ipswich, who are an ex-Premier League side. It's things like that people go and watch football.
Mate, 3 years ago they were League One. It's not that exciting.
I'd quite like to go to Ipswich. You get to go back to Portsmouth.
Look, I don't disagree. I don't disagree that, like, for me, I'd love to watch Ipswich, because I actually think Kieran McKenna's a proper sound manager. I think Ipswich are a good footballing side. I'd like to watch them play football, but I'm a fucking dork as well. Do you know what I mean? I think your average football fan ain't gonna give a fuck about half these football teams, and that's what worries me. Who cares, Middlesbrough? It's not a glamour game, is it? I think it's interesting. Watford, who the fuck cares? Do you know what I mean? QPR.
I think, but when you're comparing it to Port Vale,
Millwall, fucking get in the bin. Yeah, all right. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that it's not going to cause a bit of growth. It will naturally. Like all the idiots will come out, for instance, for Millwall, won't they? All of the morons will come out for Watford, for Millwall, for instance.
I think
it's just not that. It's just not. I don't think it's going to be enough to make people go, hello, and start getting behind us.
I think there's something about, yes, attendances are really important. Actually, like fundamentally, we want to be able to fill our ground as a bare minimum. And then there's something around embracing being a small football club. So you want to find the balance between the two. You want to be a tight knit club, but you want to make sure that you've got the ability to fill a ground week in, week out.
And all of this conversation isn't even considering the fact that if we go up to the Championship, we have to extend because our ground is too small. I know they give us a window of time.
Yeah. How big is how big is the Oval's ground?
I don't know, but they dropped straight out, so they didn't have to make. They sort of made plans for expansion and then didn't have to.
But I reckon we'd be very similar. Let's be honest. Their capacity is 9,500. What's ours?
I don't necessarily disagree.
Just over 7, but that's technically it never really gets above 6-8.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we would arguably have to extend, and there are plans to add a tier to the East Terrace, for instance.
Which I think Wallace is thinking about anyway, hasn't he? No. In terms, he said at the last.
No, he said we've got plans, but they're only going to,
if we needed to,
come about.
If
the Championship forced us, and you've got 3 years to start work on that. So if you drop out in those at any point in those first 2-3 seasons, don't matter, does it?
Yeah, I'm sure if we continue on the trajectory we are, at least for this season in terms of results, we'll see the upturn again like we did 2-3 years ago. But as Pat says, you got to have such intense patience to have a sustained period of success for people to start to adopt football clubs as their club.
Yes.
You always have the generational, my dad went, my granddad went, but how do you grasp on those that have only really been going to Arsenal, Chelsea, Spurs, QPR, your London clubs? How do you grasp them when they're in the local area? And it's going to be through other people talking about the club through the success that they have.
And they're doing all the right things with local schools and youth football teams around the area, getting them along, getting them on the pitch, taking penalties. That's going to get kids hooked in and coming back with the parents. And that's how you build it generationally, little by little. And it's not something you can easily measure the impact of over a few years. But, 20 years down the line, we should be in good stead.
I mean, how long have Salford been building up from obviously when they first got taken over it?
Yeah.
And they're still on pretty low attendance figures from when I last looked. And they've had a massive amount of investment and development to get to their numbers. I mean, they're on, where are they? They're averaging not even 3,000, 2.5. So it takes a long time. I'm sure if you compare to our conference days,
they have some quite big rivals, a lot closer than we do.
Yeah, but you're still talking about having to.
But it's a very similar situation, isn't it? A lot of the local youngsters in that area, particularly, will be more interested in Man United and see. Even probably, there's probably quite a good number of Stockport fans in that area. So,
I think I can envisage it will get there, but it will take time, especially a lot longer than 2 years at League One. It will need to be 4 or 5 like we did in League Two to get to the consistent numbers above the conference attendances we were having. But yeah.
And that's looking doable now, which is a positive. And I think now we've talked about attendances for longer than we talked about the game.
And Simon Mather.
Hang on. Yeah. Pat, I'm doing this for you. Positives. Go on. Give us some good news.
I mean, we've already talked about Dan Phillips looking back to his sharpest, and that was something that Silver and Black took
Yeah,
before
so
we even started the show. Shout out to that. That's helpful. I was impressed with Jamie Reid and the way he helped us build attacks by coming back towards the halfway line and fighting for possession, then bringing in other midfielders to help us take things forward.
Yes.
I thought Patson looked good again when he came on, and it's always impressive to see one of your smaller wingers putting himself into tackles and throwing himself to block shots and stuff, because that's something you wouldn't necessarily associate with someone with his stature and his position. But I guess he wouldn't have been recruited if he didn't have that side to his game. And it's good to see the talk at the kind of management recruitment level being borne out by what we see with the players on the pitch, because that hasn't always been the case.
I think I am really happy with the way Jamie Reid has started the season. I think he's been somewhat of a revelation. I mean, it's not quite as prolific as the season we came up with Evans, where suddenly he was, 7 games in and he scored 6 goals or whatever it was, and it's like, hello, what the fuck's going on here? But it's incredibly positive to see him come back from what was not a good season for him last season.
Very much so.
Delighted for him. Absolutely delighted for him.
I think it says a lot about again, on the topic of patience, like when you see a player has been performing at a certain level for years previous, one blip or one season doesn't define who that player is now. And when you think of everything that actually happened in the summer for him, of course he was going to have a slow start to the season. And as a striker, that's probably the worst thing you can have. So for him to be able to come into this season, full pre-season, leave all of that behind and be able to hit the mark and hit the ground running so early on, irrespective of where we were in the league, I think we'd all be very, very happy with that, with seeing that situation. So yeah, hopefully he gets some more goals. And then you had Hadme in who looked sharp and positive.
Yeah, nearly got a goal with his first touch again.
Yeah, and so you're looking at it and you're going, actually, where last season we were worried about where goals were going to come from, I'm fairly content that we've got 2 decent strikers.
I am here, by the way, for us going into the playoffs or into the All-Eights at the end of the season, having scored like 1.1 goals a game. I am all for going up with the fewest goals scored ever.
Oh, yeah.
And
the way they're defending, that's plausible as well.
It excites me no end. I want more goals. Don't get me wrong. I want a fuck ton of goals. But there's just something wonderfully shithousey about going up having scored fuck all.
Only Cardiff and Luton have conceded fewer than us in the league. We're level with Doncaster on 4.
I mean, Cardiff, are they on 1?
Yep.
Yeah, they conceded 1. Which, okay, we won't be that. But, yeah, I mean, we've prided ourselves for the last 1, 2, 3 years on being defensively solid. It would be rather fitting for that to be the reason we were able to push into automatics in the Championship. It was purely based on we conceded less goals than you.
Yeah. It would be really funny then to come down having conceded an absolute fucking scandal.
We'd have fun while doing it though.
It would be proper banter, wouldn't it? I don't think being being a fan at home would be comfortable, would it? I think that it would be really, really uncomfortable just to go to home games in the Championship where you're just getting battered every week. It'd be like, especially if you're sat down, fucking hell, you'd be sat there miserable as sin about Jesus Christ. I'm glad. I mean, I'll be sat there. I'm glad I didn't get my daughter a season ticket this year. Good Lord. away grounds when you get an absolutely pumped. It's the only time it's possible to get absolutely pumped and still have fun.
And it took us 5 minutes there to go from the banner saying positives
to discussing future possible content. Excellent.
Although I
And
realised.
I'm really excited for potential of going to the Championship, regardless of the fact that I think we might get absolutely ruined.
But I realise we're talking about positives, we're talking about goal scoring, but the one thing we haven't really spoken about is Campbell scoring the only goal of the weekend.
Yeah. I think this is the first mention of him. Yeah.
So I was going to put that in as a positive.
The episode is directly fucking named after him as well. Chemistry.
It would be very on brand for us to name him in the title and then forget to mention him for the entire.
I'm pretty sure we did it a few weeks back anyway, where we had a.
we absolutely did. We absolutely after that second game of the season, I tweeted something about Roberts being like we needing to be given his flowers because he doesn't get enough credit. And then we didn't mention him at all the following episodes. It's just Boropod all over, isn't it?
But yeah, no, I was going to say, I mean, it's good to have Campbell off the mark. That means that's a third. That's a third forward that's off the mark, even if you winger forward, whatever you want to call him.
It was a good finish.
I don't know. I didn't see it. My head was in my hands because I couldn't believe Dan Phillips had not hit the target. He played better this weekend as well. I thought he looked more lively. I think he looked like he really wanted it. He was picking the ball up and running at defenders where it's not happened so much. And I think he benefited from having Freestone playing behind him as opposed to Butler, because Freestone isn't going to play in those areas so much, whereas Butler sort of wants to move into the space that Campbell wants to play in. But also, because of that, he looks in field a lot for a lot of the passes, whereas Freestone wanted to move the ball down the wing, and that helps us immeasurably.
Yeah, I mean, there was occasions where you probably wanted an overlapping fullback, and then there was occasions where I think we've been frustrated by us having two wide players out there because Campbell wants its feet to run at fullbacks and Butler wants to get out of the pitch, and so yeah, I think that there's pros to cons to it. I mean, Butler's been in great form this year, so I think all of us were pretty disappointed to see him not starting. I think actually we probably will put it down to he needed a rest rather than he'd picked up a knock earlier in the week. But Freestone coming in, it'd be nice if Saxon Early could not be made of glass for once. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to see it too often, but Freestone did a very good job considering.
He did very good job. And I think he got it on the head earlier when you said that, it actually helped him sort of sitting deep and not being sort of into his man as much as you would have seen with Butler. So, Butler.
Yeah.
I just couldn't remember who the fuck I was talking about for a minute. Yeah. Anyway, right. Talking of who am I talking about? Who the fuck are you?
Oh, here we go.
Time for a quiz. Straight in. Your name's your buzzer. You know how it works. People on YouTube, people watching along. I'll be curious to see
in like 4 minutes. We'll see your guesses in the chat when we're on to the next question.
I want to see your guesses in the chat, please. And if you're listening to it on Spotify and just want to tweet us random players' names as you hear it,
we'll try and piece together where you are in the pod.
Together, yeah.
That's
weird. Just spend the next 3 or 4 days just getting random players from 15 years shouting to us on social media. Excellent.
Why am I being tweeted a Frande Zanzala?
He is not in the list.
I didn't think so, which is why I went with him.
So the first one, actually, no, right, I've definitely used him before, so give me a second. Give me 1 second. I do need to change this one.
Is it Luke Amos?
No. No, it's not Luke Amos.
Well, I'm out.
Oh, fuck. This is not good. This is awful. I don't know why I clicked. Why did I click on him? Idiot. Oh, that's a great one. Fuck yeah. Right, here we go.
God, here we go.
2009. This fella started his senior career at QPR, playing once. Good. He spent a year on loan. Spent 2 years, in fact, on loan at Yeovil Town, making 51 appearances. Ooh. 2012, spent some time on loan at Preston North End.
From QPR.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before a loan move to Stevenage, where he played 6 times, scoring 1 goal.
Oh.
2013, 2014, he was on loan at Carlisle United, making 9 appearances.
Nick.
Let's go on.
Keith Keane.
No, he played for Luton before he came here. 2014, 2015, on loan at Gillingham, making 27 appearances and scoring 1 goal. Oh, I'm getting excited. I think I might have stumped you.
Well, Pat didn't get it after the one before Stevenage or after Stevenage, so this
I
is...
know, so tick on it now.
But it's
2015,
it's harder, isn't it?
2015, after his successful loan to Gillingham, he moved there permanently, spending 5 seasons there, playing 192 times, scoring 11 goals.
Oh, Pat.
Go on, Patrick.
Max Irma.
Max Irma is the correct answer. Excellent work. I'm devastated that you got that right. He then, just moving on quickly.
Oh, of course, German. He was in my German list from last week.
He was. When I clicked on one of the seasons. The one I didn't add in was John Ashton. I was like, I don't know why I've selected him. He's definitely been on the list before. When I had a look at who his teammates were, one of the seasons, Max Seymour jumped at me. I was like, he was on last week. That's going to throw Nick. He spent 5 years at Gillingham, had a year at Bristol Rovers, and then went straight back to Gillingham. So played 192 times for Gillingham, 28 for Bristol Rovers, and then 164 at Gillingham again.
I do remember him jumping to and from Gillingham.
And he's currently at Ipswich United, having played no games.
Oh.
The second one, there is a possibility I've used him as well in the past. I don't remember using him, but it feels like his name.
I couldn't even remember Max Seymour from last week, so this is going to go well.
Started his career in 2005 at Notts County. Sorry.
Steady. Get us not demonetized.
Quick, get the bleep.
Just make a note of 52 minutes and 30.
You can't edit a live show.
It's for the Spotify.
It's for the Spotify.
We don't get enough viewers for monetization on YouTube anyway.
No, you have to get an X amount before they'll even consider you giving any of the ad revenue to you.
If anything, we need something controversial to
boost it. Yeah, I mean, apparently there's a Man United fan that has been watching us for a little while. So, hello, mate. How you doing?
Very sorry.
I instantly took the piss out of the fact that Man United are going to be in the next division as us next year. 2006, 2009, he was at Ipswich United, playing 118 times, scoring 19 goals. 2009 to 2012 at Stevenage, 73 games, 5 goals.
Oh, Pat.
No,
Stacey Long.
It is Stacey Long. He was my wife's first. He was my wife's first ever favourite Stevenage player. Not because they share a first name.
I think he was the first Boro player. Yeah, I think Stacey Long was the first Boro player I publicly tweeted abuse at.
That's a rite of passage for you.
What on earth did you tweet abuse at him for?
I can't really remember, but I just vividly remember tweeting something about Stacey Long back in the day.
I love the fact that in his career he scored 46 goals and only 45 of them came off of opponents before going in. Right, the last one I'm going to admit is a fucking right old wild card.
Oh, brilliant.
Oh, Jesus.
So naturally, Pat's going to get it after like 3, and I'm going to be like, I just don't understand how you did this. But Here we go. Started his senior career in 2013 at Dartford.
Oh, Christ.
Dartford.
Yeah, I told you it's a bit of a wild card. Before going on loan twice in the 2014 season, once to Walton Casuals and the second time to Leatherhead, making 0 appearances at either.
Club
Wow.
legend.
2015, he moved to a team called Fisher, playing 12 times and scoring 4 goals. Before moving on
What
to
is
Malden and
this?
Tiptree, playing 15 games and scoring 11 times.
Are you sure this is a player and not just a list of FA Cup prelim fixtures?
Yes, it's a player, someone that did play for us.
I have 2 names in my head. I'm just waiting to see.
In 2015, he moved to Colchester United.
Oh, place I've heard of. Amazing.
Surely you've heard of Malden and Tiptree.
Malden and Tiptree. Great club.
I'm aware that they're gin.
In 2016, he had a loan at Bishop Stortford.
I've been there.
Playing 7 times and scoring 3 goals before returning on loan to Malden and Tiptree. 4 games, 4 goals.
Marmalade.
Lovely return that. He also in 2017 had a loan at East Thurrock United. 6 games, 4 goals.
Commiserations.
He also moved there permanently the same season. 8 games, 1 goal. Considerably
Got
worse.
complacent.
2017, at the end of that season, he moved to Concord Rangers. 24 games, 5 goals. Nick, you look like you're either going to do a shit or you want to say something. I'm not sure which.
Do you know how many names that have gone through my head? I've gone.
Why don't you just throw one out? I don't think Pat's going to get it.
No, because I know they're wrong. I know they're wrong, but they're the only ones I can think in my head.
All right. 2018 to 19, he moved to Haringey Borough. 34 goals, 34 games, 7 goals. Before going to Braintree Town, 18 games, 6 goals. So all of these moves, by the way,
these are all before Stevenage.
This is all before Stevenage. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 clubs in 7 years.
I mean, that is incredibly non-league, to be fair. But
it is. 1920, he was at Billericay Town. 16 games, 6 goals. Go on, do it. Do it, Nick. Go on.
Femi Akinwande.
You are correct.
Yes, because he went back to Billericay after he left us at some stage.
After a loan at Dartford, he went to Braintree and then Billericay, which is the same order as he was at before.
Yeah. He pays them bills.
I mean, even in that time, after leaving the team, 2020, 2021, he was with us, played 7 times. Dartford, Braintree, Billericay, Tonbridge Angels, Carshalton Athletic, Hastings United, Hornchurch, and he's back at Billericay again.
I had like Jason Cowley, Danny Newton were in my head, but I thought, no, it's not Newton because he drops far lower than that a lot earlier on.
He also started high.
And I was like, so it's got to be from that 1920 season where we signed half of the non-league, half League Two.
We signed the 4 top scorers from non-league.
I was like, it's got to be from that season. So who is there that could have scored goals? Oh, I'm so proud of that one. I'm almost as proud of that one as I was the Luke Amos one from a few weeks back.
I heard the name and still didn't recognise him, so I was never getting that one.
On Twitter, he's absolute gold. Love him.
Like much like Tyrese.
Yeah, he's actually the exact profile of Tyrese Simpson as well.
He was not good enough for Football League, unfortunately.
He wasn't, but I think we knew that about half that squad that year.
Aaron's just said on YouTube, I cannot believe we gave professional football minutes to Femi Akinwande. That's
His
spot
takes are
on, Aaron.
spicy when he's not on camera.
He is very spicy when he's on camera. He always drops in some raging comments, doesn't he? Right, so let's go with this. Lewis Orford signing on loan from West Ham. Nick, you got information on him.
I did. I'm going to thank Matt Crow, who I messaged and goes, "Can you tell me something about Orford that I can say on Boropod?" So I'm going to read this word for word. It's none of my research. It's purely stolen from Matt. So he's a technically gifted central midfielder that's played for England under 16s, under 18s, under 19s, and as we found out today, he's off to the under 20s as well. He can play as a 6 or an 8, and he very much looks to attempt to play some of those longer passes, which will suit our wingers, contribute directly to goals, dictates tempo. He was nominated for Premier League 2 Player of the Season last year, was key in the under-18s winning the Southern Premier and the Youth Cup at West Ham. Incredibly highly thought of at West Ham. Noble convinced him to sign a 5-year deal when Villa came in for him, and Villa very much had the intention of bringing him into their first team. And equally, back in the last season, got 2 appearances in the Premier League. So a lot of West Ham fans thought he should have been joining a championship club, and he's come to us. And the one bit that I will add that I found out is he scored versus Woking in the National League Cup this year, and that was enough for me to be happy with his signing. So thank you, Matt, for the information.
From what I can work out, Pompey were very interested in him. So
I'm sure he will need to do some gym work to get up to the physical level, but
yeah, that is something that I said. I think we might need to temper expectations early on a little bit about how much he may feature, just based off the fact that he's a young lad coming in. I mean, I think he's probably very similar in stature and potential wise to Harvey White when Harvey White first joined us in that season. Obviously, that was a bit different because Harvey White was on a permanent deal, not on loan. But we didn't see him on. We didn't see him an awful lot that first season, did we? Because he had a lot of growing to do. I think potentially Lewis Orford's potentially more sort of polished as a footballer. I've watched a couple of games with him last season, and he was dominant for 90 minutes. He was he just looked excellent, and he certainly had the physicality to dominate those PLT matches. I think one thing that puts him probably above or further along the line of sort of getting into the squad than Harvey White did at the time that he joined was I think his reading of the game is probably more advanced, and I'm looking forward to seeing how he fits in. I really want him to play tomorrow.
Well, he's off with the under 20, so he won't be.
Of course he is. So that's not going to happen.
But I mean,
it would have been lovely to see him play tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean,
I think one thing I think I said this to you two earlier. One thing that he reminded me of was a bit of Jake Reeves in the way that he seemed to just have forever to play the ball in that PLT games. You know how Jake Reeves just seems to always be in acres of space and have time to do what he wants. That was sort of a bit of the feeling that I was getting from him watching him. But it's damn exciting.
He's definitely going to be more ready made to almost come straight in and play a part, probably off the bench initially, but he would have been training with West Ham's first team for however long. Obviously, under 20s, England isn't exactly going to be a walk in the park. And so I highly envisage that he will be taking up that role that Harvey's been filling for the first part of the season. And gives us another rotation option, considering we probably still want to do fairly well in the Virtue Pizza BDSM
Hang on.
trophy.
Hang on. What did I call it? The pizza car copy thing.
That's it. The pizza car copy thing. So yeah, we've kind of spoken about with Louis Thompson being probably out for the foreseeable. Phillips obviously had his injury in the summer that we were slightly concerned about. We looked really light there anyway. It's quite refreshing to see us sign a player that is there to compete rather than one just to make up the numbers when it comes to loan deals. I think we've seen that in the past where we've said we're a bit light in that area. We've gone and got a Premier League loan that is probably in reality quite high risk to bring in into the team, and then we've seen them twice and then you never see them again. So yeah, it's quite nice to get a ready-made young player by the looks of it.
I just want to drop in. I've just seen a wonderful tweet from Port Vale giving Moose absolute belters
I've seen that.
suggesting that they were signing someone and he's got it wrong.
Yeah.
Hilarious. Wonderful.
Brilliant, isn't it?
Palomé, Fabrizio.
No, Abraham Moose,
Roman,
not John Mousinho Moose. I'm with it.
Yeah.
No, the other fucking knobhead one.
Okay.
Ugh.
But no. Speaking of transfer deadline day news, Northampton, we are pleased to announce the signing of attacker Kyle Edwards.
Oh, good luck.
That's annoying.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he was.
Will you play for them?
I'm pretty sure he was with them all pre-season, so I don't know what's taken so long for him to sign a deal, unless he was injured. But anyway,
hang on. Let me just catch up with that 1 second. And now that can fuck off.
Oh, he's only got a contract until January. It's like the deal we had with him, but
yeah,
the other way around.
So other potential ins and outs. What are we hearing? What are we seeing? What are we expecting?
I'm hearing very little, but I anticipate a couple of loan moves out, likely to National League, I reckon, in Matthias, Roberts, and Malcolm.
It would make sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah. That's the only business I'm expecting, to be honest. Yeah.
Not Young.
I think Young's a difficult one, really, because I think if he's going to go, it's got to be a permanent. I don't think he's going to want to be going through the ringer of loan deals again. And I still think he's got something to give. It was a shame he got injured when he did. Because I think this would have been a good season for him, especially with how we're playing. So I wouldn't like to see that one, just because I think there is something there that we can take advantage of. But I wouldn't be devastated if that did happen.
No, I think my problem with him is I don't know where I see him fitting in the squad once he is fit. He's not going to replace Reed or or any of the wingers, is he? He's not done enough.
No, but when you consider, I mean, some of his best moments last year, albeit there were very few of them, were off the bench. And actually, I think if you've got Chem, Phoenix, Roberts as your main three wingers, really. We haven't really got another one. I think that's probably Young seen as the one off the left that could do a job there. Bringing him on with Phoenix on either side for 20, 30 minutes to run at fullbacks. His finishing is fairly good if he gets in the right areas. Yeah. So that's where I see that he could be of use this year. But yeah.
Pat, any expectations?
I think we're pretty much done. Happy to be surprised if it happens, but no, I would think we look pretty all right. And the last concern was that midfielder, which we've now recruited. Now, I mean, you'd never say no to another striker in there because no club would, but we're better than we were at the start of the season already. So, yeah, touch wood. I don't see much changing.
I mean, you got to remember you've got Nick Freeman to come back. I don't know what time frame Ellis Bates is on, but obviously he was intending to be part of the squad this year. Saxon's still to come back from injury. Ryan Doherty still a part to play, so we've got a lot of players. So I don't think that would be I don't think we'd be left short if we did send a couple out.
Yeah.
But I equally don't think we're on that cusp of we've got too many and we need to get rid of a couple.
Yeah. I think loans can be made for a few days, a couple of weeks even. Yeah, I think as well.
Yeah,
So
a National League
there's
pretty
time.
much don't have a deadline for it. So where I look at Malcolm, Mateus Roberts are probably two, and a couple of the young lads that have featured on squad lists but maybe not played a part. They're the ones that you probably see getting some minutes in some non-league fixtures. But yeah, be interesting to see where we get to when we hit January, because that could be really important window depending on where we are in the league running up to that.
Yeah. Interesting to note that Port Vale signed Devante Cole on a permanent deal. Yeah.
Don't really know what to think of that, to be honest.
They
needed a striker, but
I mean that Tolage has gone, and they replaced him with someone that's probably the same footballer. So
yeah, where was Devante Cole? Where have they signed him from?
He was at
West Brom. Christ.
I mean, look, if this late in the window, if you manage to replace Tolage with a guy who's as good as that, you've done well, because that looked like a big loss for them, considering how he played when he played against us.
Yeah, you could be worse. It could be Crawley signing Ryan Loft.
Yeah, that is a funny one. They are not pushing for promotion this season, are they?
Talk about gifting.
Well done to Cambridge for getting that fucking awful player off their books.
I was going to say that's mental considering the contract he was on. But
3.5 year deal, wasn't it?
Has he gone for a permanent as well?
No, it's a loan, so it's not fully off the books. But Crawley will be paying that. You would assume. Team in the same league, they'll be paying that.
Talking of mental, Liverpool break the transfer record. 125 million for Isaac. It's no wonder football's dying, is it?
They won the Premier League last season, and they've just spent 430 million or something.
Yeah,
although insane when you look at it from lower down the league.
Absolutely vile.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's very off from where Stevenage are in League One, but I was listening to the ex-Villa chief exec, the one that was in charge when the Grealish deal to City was done.
Yeah.
And he was talking about Liverpool's business. He was saying what they're doing is actually incredibly clever from a strategic point of view, because the PSR rules at the moment and your FFP, everyone's starting to realise heavily disadvantage your clubs like Villa, Newcastle, who are rich but aren't allowed to spend their money. And so
Newcastle
soon enough,
still fucking splashing it left, right, and centre though.
Yeah, not to the extent that they could have or would like to.
Yeah.
And so actually what they envisage happening in the next couple of years is the rules are going to change, and therefore Liverpool wouldn't be able to spend this kind of money in 2-3 years' time. So they're doing all their buying now when they can, got really high revenues, really good sponsorship deals, spending the money now, getting young talent in, which means for the next 5-10 years they're set, they're sorted. So even when the rules change, it doesn't matter because they've got all of their ready-made squad done, and then your Newcastles and that will be building behind. They'll be a year or two behind. So, yeah, it goes to show how important strategy is in football these days. It's no longer, go down the park, stick 16 men on a football pitch and see them kick each other. There's so much commercial business and financial strategy to think about.
Yeah,
It's a different world.
I've been speaking to Mr. Metcalf, our wonderful now freelance journalist that covers the borough. I asked him if there was any news coming. He said that their deadline was 7 p.m. and he's had nothing to suggest that there's anything happening. Certainly nothing was going on when he was last at the club. So it could be curtains for us today.
But not in a bad way.
No, we've had a wonderful summer, haven't we? Let's be fair. Right, let's have a look around the league. Look at the results from the weekend's football. Cardiff beating Plymouth 4-0. You would imagine in the state of modern football, Tom Cleverley is on a very short leash there. Doncaster
it's a tragic start for Plymouth, isn't it?
It's pretty fucking poor, yeah. Doncaster 1, Rotherham 0. Rotherham looked hopeless when they were with us, opening game of the season, and it's not got much better for them so far. Exeter 3, Peterborough 0. Peterborough have signed Elkan Baggott today, which solves some problems for them, but there are a lot of problems with that side, and starting right at the top with, literally right at the top with Dara, but I did mean to reference Ferguson there, but just shit from top to bottom, really, isn't it? And they're in a fuck ton of debt, and fuck them. Leyton Orient lost at home to the Shootwats. Barnsley beat Huddersfield 3-1 after Huddersfield had a man sent off. That's fun.
We're just moving on from the Shootwats, okay?
Yeah, why not? We don't need to fucking talk about either of those sides.
Did you not like their post-match video?
Fucking stupid, isn't it? cream of the crop, though, isn't it? Well done, Richie. You just Blackpool 1, Bolton 1, Bradford 3, AFC Wimbledon 2. That, by the way, was an absolute fucking cracking game. Burton 0, Luton 3. Luton sort of slowly waking up. They're spending buckets and buckets and buckets on players, so you'd imagine that they will rocket towards the top in no time at all. Reading beat Port Vale. We obviously beat Dodds Danglies, and then Wigan Stockport 1-0 and Lincoln Mansfield 1-0. So some really non-exciting football this weekend. If we look at the table, look down the bottom, because that's where all the teams I don't like are. Peterborough, bottom of the pile. They are in serious trouble. Port Vale also looking like they're in trouble early on, sort of as expected. But I think they should have a reprieve just because their Twitter admin is class. Wycombe in the bottom four. Plymouth also in the bottom four. I haven't got anything against Plymouth other than how far away it is. Blackpool in 20th. Looked pretty poor when we were there, so it's again unsurprising. Rotherham poor. Burton are always in and around the relegation zone. No surprise. Reading, I think a lot of people expected Reading to do a bit better, and they've started fairly slowly. Obviously, I've said Burton. Leyton Orient floating around lower mid-table, as are Northampton. That's fine. You can stay there. Bolton also in that area with Wigan. AFC Wimbledon are the next promoted team up in 12th. Early days, but I think they've been a surprise package. A lot of people have them going down rock bottom, so that's nice to see. I don't mind them, whatever. 11th, doing far better than anybody else thought they would. Mansfield are in 10th on 10 points. And you've got Lincoln, Stockport, Luton, Huddersfield up in the final playoff spot at the moment in on 12 points. You've got Doncaster and Barnsley and Bradford in the other playoff spots, and then Stevenage in second. 6 games, 5 wins, 1 loss, 9 scored, 4 against, 15 points. Stick that up here, Leyton Orient, and then Cardiff at top.
It's all right, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all right. So
I'll take it.
Exactly right. The pizza car cuppy thing tomorrow night away at AFC Wimbledon. It's a shame. It's a shame we're not away at
Bromley.
Everyone.
Yeah.
I've been there once. Sort of nice. It's sort of a fucking weird ground, very weird ground, but not a bad ground. One I would genuinely consider actually going back to.
I'm actually going to go to it tomorrow because I haven't been there yet. And for
Nice.
£12 for a ticket.
Yeah, it's not bad, is it? Actually, I'm going to go on Boxing. I'm going to go on Boxing Day.
That's also why I'm going, because I don't think I'm going to be able to go on Boxing Day.
When it's probably 28 quid, and I'm going to cry into what's likely to be a shit pint of beers while I'm there. But yeah, they've started the season pretty well. Not quite as well as we have. Should be a decent game. Might see Jake Reeves. It's always nice. Although I worry about how we're going to do against him, because I just think he's a wonderful footballer and I don't want to have to play him.
Is their game still on that weekend?
Is their game still on the weekend? I don't know. Let me have a look.
I'm just thinking because I fully expect us to go with a reasonably strong squad.
I
fact
would
that we haven't got a game on the Saturday.
I think it will be somewhere between what you would assume you would have seen on Saturday and what you're expecting tomorrow. So I think we might see Mateus Roberts. I think we'll see Phoenix starting. We might even see Malcolm, although possibly and potentially, hopefully not.
They're away at Bolton. It's not postponed.
It's not
okay. So it'll be interesting to see how they line up.
Yeah, you might see some players rested there. On Tuesday night. The the postponed games are Blackpool, Luton, Cardiff, Burton, Stevenage, Barnsley, and Reading, Northampton. Northampton having a game called off.
It's only because of Reading, surely.
So yeah, I mean it's not going to be Northampton, is it? Either they got no one. Shit ass. Man.
Bolton haven't got that many.
Bolton are crap. A couple of years ago, maybe, but that's shit in the moment, isn't they? So,
yeah, I mean, Barnsley just had loads of under 20s and that, didn't they? Because they got quite a young squad. And obviously, we've got a couple.
I think we've got more senior call-ups, haven't we?
Have we?
Actually, probably not at the moment. Not at the moment. I don't know. It's if there is, let's be fair, it's probably Luther and Dan Phillips, and I don't know if Jamie Reid.
Yeah.
It'll take Northern Ireland another 6 months to notice that he started playing well again, if at last time's anything to go by.
No, he hasn't
didn't call him up till he'd scored like 20 already.
I think he is in the squad, isn't he?
He's in the squad, yeah. I mean, he's also in the squad with Ryan Johnson.
Yeah. He scored a great own goal opening game of the weekend. Opening game of the weekend? Opening game of the season.
Yeah. No, he got a call up last week for the Northern Ireland squad, so they'll be playing together, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, who else are you going to play? Josh McGuinness? Oh, you fuck. I mean, they probably will, actually.
Yeah, they probably. Who else have they got? I haven't even looked at that Northern Ireland squad for a very long time.
Ben Kennedy. Oh, I don't know why I sang that to the John Cena theme tune.
Northern Ireland squad. Oh, I'm not finding it as quickly as I'd like to.
That'll be the game against Barnsley will be postponed until you'd imagine that'll slot into one of the November midweeks. I think it is.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Are there any
degrees in the fog? Amazing.
Yeah. Are there any in October?
I just remember.
Are any gaps in October?
Was it the last time we had a Barnsley game called off? Was
for a frozen
pitch,
football pitch?
Yeah, after they'd all travelled down.
Yeah, the referee called it off really late, and they blamed us and Steve Evans because their mouth.
Oh yeah, obviously. I did offer them some landmarks around Stevenage to go and visit, but I don't know if anyone took that up.
I definitely saw a squadron of Barnsley fans hanging around the bear.
Ah, the polar bear, yeah.
Yeah.
There must have been a couple that got a few games in a Mecca bingo, surely.
I know, the only thing I can remember is that geezer sat having a right old whine about it in Hitchin Town Square.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. What a video. Right, I finally managed to get the Northern Ireland squad for my sins.
This is what we're here for.
Jamie Reid, Dion
Late
Chard,
breaking Northern Ireland news.
Callum Marshall, Dale Taylor, Paul Smythe. Yeah, I don't think Reid's getting a huge amount of minutes, I won't lie. Paul Smythe, Dion Charles, probably. Dale Taylor. But he's there. They haven't
So-
actually got McGuinness in the squad.
Good.
Yeah.
He'll probably come on and then do his Achilles.
I'm assuming
I
Dan
hope not,
Ballard's
obviously.
pulled out, but
well.
fun. Well, that
Anyway.
was some fun riveting international news for you there.
And with that fun riveting international news, let's call it a day, shall we? Because we've done nearly 90 minutes.
You mean people don't want to hear more of us?
Though, to be fair.
Nick, do your sign off. Do your thing.
Like, subscribe, leave a comment on the YouTube. We're also on Spotify. Make sure on both your ding dong the notification bell so you know when we upload.
Yes, do your ding dong.
Ding dong that bell.
Thank you for joining us, chaps, everyone, ladies, gentlemen, kids,
Dogs.
whatever you are. We might record next week, although if we do, it's going to be us laughing about Leyton Orient and then doing a 3-hour quiz. So we'll see you for that. Up the Boro.
Woo! Oh, and Dan Phillips won the man of the match poll, 55%.
Woo!
There it is. I'm just waiting now for the stream to come to the very end, because we're a little bit ahead of where the stream is, and what I don't want to do is press end stream before it's actually got to the point where I've just set up the Boro and all the woo and stuff, and I think I've missed it, so I'm just going to end it now.
What?
Professional as ever, because you have to end.
What's happened?